I will finish what you started.
Without a doubt, this was my favourite Mandalorian episode of the entire series, from seeing Boba Fett return in his armour to revealing that Jango and Boba are in fact real Mandalorians. As always, though, if you do enjoy this breakdown, make sure you force crush that like button and subscribe for more Star Wars content. We start off in the middle of space, situated in the Razor Crest, where we see the Mandalorian talking to Grogu. The Mando is emphasizing that if a Jedi wants to train him, he'll have to go with him. We also can tell by the way the Mandalorian is talking that he doesn't want to leave Grogu and has formed a major attachment. The Mando then sets a course for Tython and they arrive. They see the ancient Jedi ruins but are unable to land on it, so then the Mando uses his jetpack to escort them both on top of the mountain. Nothing really happens for 30 seconds until none other than the Slave One being flown by Boba Fett lands on the bottom of the ancient decrepit mountain. I'm not even gonna lie, when I saw this, I was going wild. The Mandalorian worryingly sneaks down the mountain where a figure in a black robe appears. This is Tamara Morrison, who, if you don't know, played Jango Fett in the Attack of Clones. Boba Fett proclaims he wants his armor and he knows he has it as he viewed him collect it from Cobb Vanth. Obviously, Mando does not want to give it up as he is under the assumption Boba Fett was not a Mandalorian and retained the armor by killing a Mandalorian warrior. Boba Fett then responds that if he does not give him what he wants, Fennec Shan, who was the person in episode 5 of season 1, will shoot at the child. They all lower their blasters and make a deal where if Mando gives him his armor, they will help in maintaining Grogu's safety. In my opinion, this was so cool to see Boba Fett and Din Djarin working together on the same side. Suddenly, a ship lands overhead to deploy stormtroopers. Fennec Shan and Boba Fett venture further down the mountain to attack and fire at the stormtroopers, flooding out of the ship. Mando then goes up to see Baby Yoda, where a massive blue force field is surrounding him. This is to allow the child to see into the Force and a Jedi or Sith or Grey Jedi to look back. This was called the Seeing Stone ritual. The stone was lit up with ancient writing, which we actually see in many different ancient Force temples, such as the Sith Temple on Malachor and the Jedi Temple on Lothal. Mando tries to get in there, but the Force immediately repels him, making him go flying away. Meanwhile, Fennec Shan is taking out the battalion of stormtroopers, where we cut to Boba Fett just absolutely slaying the stormtroopers with his Tusken Raider gaffy stick. This was a stick with a sharp spike on one side and a club on the other side. As this was occurring, he spots his father's armor, or his armor, inside the Razor Crest. The Mando then fights side by side with Fennec Shan as they realize they are surrounded. This part now is my favourite scene in the whole episode as Boba Fett appears taking out each individual stormtrooper with his Mandalorian weapons and standard guns. We have not seen this armor on Boba Fett for 40 years, basically since Return of the Jedi. Now, as above, we see Moff Gideon's Star Destroyer shoot a colossal laser blast at, unfortunately, the Razor Crest. Boba Fett runs to his ship as he sees Phase 2 Dark Troopers have been deployed to capture Grogu. Mando panically tells Fett to not shoot as he does not want the child hurt. Boba Fett then simply just follows the Dark Troopers to see where they're headed. To his surprise, they're going to a Star Destroyer and informs Fennec and Mando that the Empire is back. We finally cut to a melancholy scene where the Mando is walking around his ship's ruins and finds the bull that Grogu always plays with. Furthermore, he also finds his Beskar spear that Ahsoka gave to him in the previous video. Luckily enough, to balance the sadness with happiness, we see Boba Fett with a list of names that show who wore his armor and who it passed down to. He then goes to explain to Mando that his father was a foundling and fought in the Mandalorian Civil Wars. This is crazy, as it confirms that Boba Fett and Jango Fett are not fake Mandalorians. They all aboard the Slave One and blast off to Nevarro 7, where Mando asks the Sheriff of the New Republic, Cara Dune, to look up Mayfield on her databanks. You may remember this guy from Season 1. Ultimately, we open to Moff Gideon in his Star Destroyer commencing hyperspace, and walks to the cell keeping the captivity of Grogu, where he is throwing the two stormtroopers around with the Force, like they were ragdolls. He even used Force Choke. To end it off, Moff Gideon shows Baby Yoda the Darksaber and tells his forces to send an encrypted message to Dr. Pershing. And that's it for Chapter 14 of The Mandalorian. What an absolute banger. I hope you guys did enjoy it and let me know what you thought of this episode. And may the Force be with you until the next video.
It's a trap!